When CL first unveiled its Naxra sodium-ion battery alongside Freevoid dual power and Shenzhen superfast charging batteries during its Supertech Day on April 21, 2025, many were not prepared. Imagine a battery that works both in freezing winter and hot deserts, yet it won't even catch fire. A battery that passed the nail penetration, the high drilling test, the sawing test when it's fully charged, and the voltage is still stable. CL confirmed that Naxra has officially entered mass production and is expected to ramp up output, reportedly starting as early as June 2025, with full-scale manufacturing underway by late 2025. This battery showed a critical shift away from lithium dependence, which is scarce, to tapping into sodium availability and abundance. That means cheaper raw materials, more stable prices, and less geopolitical risk. In fact, in their recent YouTube video, CL claimed Naxra passenger EV cells could reach 175 watt-hours per kilogram at approximately 10,000 plus cycles with -40 to +70 degrees Celsius operation and 500-kilometer range. Experts believe with CL there would be sodium-ion market growth, probably under $1.5 billion by 2030. To put this in perspective, global EV sales in 2024 alone were worth over $500 billion, and they're expected to double by 2030. If sodium-ion hits even a fraction of that, say 5 to 10%, we're not talking 1.5 billion anymore, we're talking tens of billions. That's the kind of jump Naxra could trigger if it convinces automakers to switch from lithium to sodium at scale. How safe is CL Naxra? From what was demonstrated in their YouTube video, it's very safe. Their engineers ran this through extreme safety tests. They conducted a multi-axis continuous crush test on it, attacking it from multiple directions. A semi-cylindrical crush plate with a 75mm radius was used, and they pressed down on the battery along its x-axis until it deformed by about 30%. They also did the z-axis, squeezing it to 15% deformation before moving to the y-axis for another 30%. Yet, the fully charged battery remained charged after the multi-axis crushing. You know, it's one thing to design a battery that performs well in ideal lab conditions, but honestly it's another challenge entirely to make one that can take this kind of abuse and still remain safe with no explosion. To make sure it's even safer and more reliable, they also ran it through an 8mm temperature resistance needle, a high-speed drilling test, and a sawing test, yet amazingly, there was no fire. Temperature extremes? Well, Naxra thrives from -40 degrees Celsius all the way up to +70 degrees. In fact, even at -40 degrees and just 10% charge, it can still deliver 90% of its usable power. It also features 5C superfast charging, adding 520 kilometers in just 5 minutes. That's honestly a true game changer. CL's tests show that Naxra's sodium-ion chemistry, combined with their engineering design, offers a level of resilience that could actually redefine safety expectations in electric vehicles, heavy-duty transport, and grid storage. Sodium mining has been, less environmentally destructive than lithium or cobalt mining. Sodium also has an easier and cheaper recycling process, which could make sodium-ion a lot greener over its entire life cycle. CL can even tap into sodium sources in seawater and mineral deposits like soda ash, both locally and globally. And honestly, the best part is there would be a massive reduction of carbon footprint compared to lithium-ion EVs. Should the EV market brace for the impact? Definitely. This will disrupt the balance because CL's 10,000 plus cycles showed that if used daily, the pack could theoretically last over 25 years, which is far beyond the typical 8 to 12-year EV lifespan. The crazy part is that the 5C rate being equal to 520 kilometers in 5 minutes isn't just faster than Tesla superchargers, but about 8 times quicker than current mainstream EVs. At this rate, it could even completely rewrite winter EV ownership, since most lithium-ion EVs lose 20 to 40% range in freezing conditions. And CL's Naxra reportedly keeps 90% usable power at -40 degrees Celsius. If Naxra becomes successful, it means more EVs on the road, since it will address major concerns on speed charging costs and range. Aside from EVs, Naxra would be great for various energy storage needs. CL is also developing Naxtra batteries for heavy-duty trucks, which would reduce cost compared to lead-acid batteries. And because Naxtra's cycle life and safety make it perfect for stationary energy storage, it could quietly dominate the grid market before EVs, just like LFP did in China. So, who else is in the game? Well, Faradion is really pioneering non-aqueous sodium-ion technology, and they're backed by Reliance Industries, focusing on both mobility and grid storage. There's actually a big opportunity for scalability here since they can use existing manufacturing lines. Tiamat is another player, offering fast-charging, high-power batteries that can reach a full charge in just 5 minutes. They actually received €30 million to build a 5 gigawatt-hour factory by 2029. Their real strength is that amazing 5-minute charge capability. Natron Energy stands out as the first U.S. company to produce sodium-ion batteries commercially. They've achieved UL safety standards and are scaling up to 24 gigawatt-hours per year by 2028 with a $1.4 billion gigafactory. Heine Battery has also released high-sing sodium-ion solutions, which deliver about 165 watt-hours per kilogram, a full charge in 20 to 25 minutes, and a lifespan of roughly 8,000 cycles. Experts are even predicting affordable mass-market potential for Heine Battery. Even Northvolt has developed sodium-ion cells with more than 160 watt-hours per kilogram of energy density, using abundant materials and targeting energy storage applications. But, CL's Naxtra is still leading the pack with 175 watt-hours per kilogram and a 500-kilometer range, plus around 10,000 or more cycles. While CL's Naxtra battery has earned plenty of praise for surviving extreme crush nail penetration and drilling tests without explosion, some folks aren't convinced just yet. The skepticism boils down to one main point. All the tests so far have been run by CL itself. Some feel it's all marketing and they won't fully buy the idea until a third party does the tests, not CL. In fact, it should be done by individuals to actually test and see if the claims are true. And also, what happens when you overcharge? That's often the cause of EVs catching fire. In many EV fire cases, thermal runaway has been triggered not by physical damage, but by faults in charging systems, leading to excessive voltage or heat. Skeptics believe CL hasn't shown public footage of deliberate overcharging tests. They want to know whether Naxtra's sodium-ion chemistry can truly stay stable under that condition. More questions are being asked, like, shouldn't CL do short-circuiting tests between cells in a bigger pack? They've seen that the single-cell testing was impressive, but EV batteries operate in a bigger, interconnected pack. That means short circuits between cells or in the pack's bus bars can create cascading heat and failure modes. So, CL has more work to do, demonstrating what happens when a multi-cell pack is shorted. So, yes, Naxtra is pretty strong for a sodium-ion battery, but honestly it's still lower than the best lithium-ion or those future solid-state cells. This could, possibly limit things like ultra-long-range electric vehicles. Now, will CL Naxtra end up being just another solid-state battery hype? Well, no. CL Naxtra is actually less likely to be another solid-state hype. See, solid-state batteries promised really huge energy density and safety, but they just didn't push through because they were way too expensive, too hard to make, and honestly, they just don't last in the real world, at least not yet. Unlike CL's Naxtra battery that's already in mass production using cheap and abundant sodium, it even works in extreme temperatures, and now it's being slotted right into existing lines. Yes, sodium-ion batteries generally weigh more than lithium-ion for similar energy density, because sodium atoms are heavier and larger, but CL is countering this by optimizing cell-to-pack integration, reducing structural components, and using advanced lightweight materials in vehicle battery housing. This could be the future of EVs. What if LFP and solid-state batteries double down? Yes, the probability of solid-state battery breakthroughs overtaking sodium-ion if they scale faster is high. The clause is if. It's also worth noting that LFP is already cheap and proven, so Naxtra needs to clearly beat it in cost or performance to convince automakers to switch. Aside from EVs, Naxra is coming for other sectors. Imagine your drone still flying in intense snow, your laptop lasting 20 years without a battery swap, or better yet, your e-bike charging in minutes with no possible